Good morning and afternoon, folks. I see we have a few people here in the room already, and we're just waiting for a few others to show up, and we'll get going in a minute or two. Well, Tom, what do you think? Do you want to get the show on the road here?
Yeah, let's get the show on the road.
All
See,
right.
a couple of, we have some attendees there. I was waiting for some more, but let's get going here.
You know, all the snow.
All the snow, all the power.
Waiting outside in the lobby there and, you know, brushing off their snow boots. Hi, my name is Tim Cox. I'm in the communications team here at Brevity. Thank you for taking time out of your day today for our webinar. If you're new to these webinars, welcome. This is actually our fourth webinar in our series that takes a look at how artificial intelligence can be used to address crucial objectives in customer care and service groups. Now, today's complex and competitive manufacturing environment means that business information is always changing. So how do we make sure that our service AI and the rules that govern it is familiar with the latest models, problem diagnostics learned in the field, or technical issues and problems that emerge as an appliance or machine ages? In other words, how can we supplement our existing AI with new products, problems, customer questions, and technician know-how? So in today's webinar, we will look at the administrative tools Brevity provides to enable service teams to keep their AI operating at peak performance. Now, before we start, please note that the chat channel is open for your questions throughout the presentation. So feel free to shoot them in and we'll assemble those. And at the end, we will just run through them and address your questions. Now then, as you may have heard, with me today is my colleague from the Emerald Isle, Tom Meehan, works closely with Brevity's customers to help them assess their AI needs and strategies. So let's get started here. I'm going to turn things over to Tom. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning, Tim, and thank you for that introduction there.
You're welcome.
I think, as you mentioned, you know, this is one of a series of webinars. In previous webinars, we covered the Brevity Assist family of products, Agent Assist, Tech Assist, Customer Assist. We'll talk more about those today. And on the last webinar, we covered parts prediction. Recording of those webinars are available on our website in the resource page. Okay, so you can check them out there if you didn't happen to get them at the time. Today, we're going to talk about a series of tools that provide for life cycle management of a product line that is using Brevity AI Service Management. Okay, and we'll talk through a series of things around how a particular product may be customized in terms of its UI look and feel. And more significantly, what we'll kind of mainly focus on is, you know, how we can add some human expert data into the model building and training of those products. But before we go into more detail on that, Okay. Well, Tim, I got the advanced to work here. But before we go into more detail on that, I just want to put this in the context of Buviti and the Buviti product portfolio. So Buviti is the market leader in providing AI solutions for service ecosystems, with our product portfolio shown here. Okay. Agent Assist is a call center agent product that allows agents to triage problems with a chatbot and have contextual information from manuals, facts, videos. If a technician dispatch is required, it is an informed one, and service technician is given specific background information, which is appropriate. And if appropriate, there's a parts prediction component to that as well. Tech Assist is used by service technicians with similar capabilities for triage and smart search. Customer Assist allows for self-service capabilities where customers can look to triage problems and look up product information and so on. Each of these assist applications can use part prediction. And a parts prediction Buviti engine is based on fault issues triage and BOM information we have. The Smart Insights product provides a management view that includes call center performance, agent performance and ranking, tech and customer assist usage and performance, and if used, parts prediction performance. So essentially giving you an intelligent management aggregate view of how the service ecosystem is performing. What we're going to focus on today is the admin console, from which you can manage the device types that are under Buviti AI services, changing the look and format of the user interface, and allow human knowledge and expertise to be entered and applied to guide our AI and machine learning. And it's actually this aspect that we're going to kind of focus most on today and spend most time on. Okay, so here's the product family. Today, we're really going to talk mainly about the Buviti admin console and the role that plays. But before we would do that, I want to give you a quick look at Agent Assist in order for you to get some feel for the interface and capability and what we can customize and influence with the admin console. So I'm just firing up Agent Assist here right now. This particular one is for a refrigerator. We have an entered model number and serial number, okay, that will define a lot of the information that comes on the Agent Assist screen. And this is what Agent Assist looks like in this particular implementation. Okay, and there's a lot of customization capabilities that are going to be possible with this in terms of how the chatbot interacts in a lot of ways. Okay, and also on the look and feel of this page. But just give you kind of highlight some things on the screen. Over on the bottom right-hand side here is the chatbot, which is, in this case, how the agent interacts in conjunction with the customer to actually triage and solve a problem, okay? There's a lot of other information that's on the screen. There's contextual information that is directly associated to the point of where you are in the triage, from facts, from manuals, from videos, okay? That can all complement the troubleshooting of the problem. There's issue history associated with the device and the service records that may be associated with that. And then there's appliance information around the particular model type, some backslash information, et cetera, that goes there. So you have this sort of aggregate composite view of a triage interaction and a whole series of model and serial number specific information and contextual information around data that's associated with a particular problem. So as we move down here, there's a problem with dispensing, and there's a series of options that are presented to sort of further characterize the problem. And the agent in this case selects one here, okay? And then you'll see there's a solution that's proposed, and then there's a question around whether this issue solve the problem or not. Okay. In this particular one, there's actually answer is no, because we wanted to kind of highlight some of the parts prediction capabilities as well. Okay. But things we'll talk about kind of in the admin console today from their perspective is that, one, there are options within the admin console. And this is one particular aspect that we'll cover in a huge amount of detail today, but understand the terms of, the look and feel, okay, of this agent is customizable, okay, and controllable by the admin console. In certain of our customers, they may have a previous kind of user experience or UI experience that they will want to closely have with our capabilities. So there are options for, widgets, removal of widgets, for placement of the chatbot on the screen, et cetera, that allow a customized view of this here, okay? But more specifically, some of the data we'll show that can be entered, okay, say specifically around expert decision tree information, okay, influences in combination with our machine learning and AI, influences the behavior of the chatbot, okay? And that's something we'll come back again. So wanted really to kind of, this stage just for our agent assist, okay, give you a look and feel of what an implementation looks like with the chatbot that the agent is interacting with, the layout of the screen and all of the contextual information that's there based on the particular problem that's being triaged, okay, and also associated with the particular clients and model. I'm going to just skip through this here. There's some part prediction that's being done in association with this particular problem. Okay. So I want to kind of introduce the notion of machine learning model creation, okay, and how that is part of our process, and how some of the capabilities we'll see from the admin console, actually influence and tailor this, okay, as a reference. So on model building, we first create a base model with data from manuals, tech forums, facts. Example, we would have a base model for a dishwasher, okay? We further train a customer model with particular vendor appliance specific information, such as knowledge data and service records, okay, that lead to the creation of a custom model, okay? And part of this process in terms of the model creation and the model training, okay, the admin console allows for a expert human data in the form of a decision tree, okay, to be created that guides the machine learning and the model training. Okay? So we'll see when I come into the admin console, the creation of decision trees, okay, and the entry of information there that will ultimately help guide the AI and the machine learning, okay, and also impact and influence the behavior of the chatbot, okay. So the admin console is, provides product lifecycle management of a product using Brevity AI service management. As new versions of a product come to market, the admin console provides the tools for their integration under Brevity AI service management. It allows for the entry of an annotation of data. For example, we'll see the entry of expert knowledge that may be entered in the form of a decision tree that will guide the machine learning and the model training, okay? In some ways, the way you could look at it is it kind of puts humans in the loop to keep AI in line, okay? So what I'm now going to go on to is a demo of the admin console, okay? I'll particularly highlight some of the capabilities in what we call an authoring tool, where we're actually editing or creating a decision tree, okay? And that decision tree is used to actually guide the model training and creation, okay? And ultimately, influences the behavior of the chatbot. Okay? So this is a demo of the admin console, okay? And we're going to go through a login process. Okay. So this is, I just want to kind of highlight a couple of things here. Up in the top bar here, okay, and this was, we're currently highlighted in the ordering tool, but there are several other parts of the admin console as well, okay? Once we use the ordering tool to create, edit a decision tree, okay, there's a deployment dimension of this, okay? It may go to a staged environment, it may go to a production environment, okay? Won't highlight these today, but the things in the deployment category facilitate the inclusion of data that we enter using the ordering tool, okay, into the model and ultimately into the usage of AI with the deployed solution, okay? Often people want to go to kind of a staging environment around this, but there's a series of tools that we have there that facilitate this deployment, okay? The configuration category allows for the customization of the look and feel, okay, of the tool. So if you have a, say, agent assist that you may want to customize in a different look and feel or a form factor that kind of reflects your particular needs or your prior usage, you can do things like, you know, remove widgets, you can move various components of the user interface or reorder them and stuff like this. So all of that is facilitated in the configuration tool. Okay. What I'm going to kind of focus most on today, okay, is the ordering tool. Okay. And the ordering tool is a way, you'll see this, that, you know, we can actually influence expert data and information and even historical decision trees that may have been created by an OEM or a servicer or some extended warranty, home warranty type company, okay? You know, incorporate that data in those decision trees and edit them, okay? And then have them act as a guide for the machine learning model creation for the particular model in their service. Okay, so if you look at over here on the left, okay, there are two types of files that I can select here, okay. One are model lists, which are associated with the particular model types on their service and provide some definition around this. The other ones are decision trees, okay. And, you know, in this case, there's a series of decision trees that are already being created or under edit, okay? And I'm going to actually select one of those and use that as the example of some of the things that we can do in the ordering tool. Okay. So in this case, I've selected a default tree for a dishwasher, okay? There are three node types that exist in the decision trees in this view, okay? One is a question node, okay, which implicitly defines a question. One is an option node, okay. The option node selects, you know, connects a question node to another question node, or to a solution node that's shown in the blue here, okay. And the hierarchical tree can be built using a combination of option nodes, question nodes, and solution nodes, okay. And in these subsequent things, you know, here we see an example of a question node, okay, that has been created. Over here on the right is the sort of editing facility associated with that particular question node, where we enter what the actual problem that they're having with the dishwasher. Depending on the context, there's a hint facility, which is sort of incremental information to an agent, for example, that they could ask at this point in the tree, okay? Tags provide a facility for more optimized search through the tree, and that you associated with a particular node. And you have a facility to add attachments, you know, that are informational to the node at this point in the tree as well, okay? And here we have an example of the option node, okay? Again, defined by a particular piece of text that will show up as an option when a question in this decision tree, when between a question node and another question node, or between as a question node and a solution node. Okay? And again, we have the facility to tag this that leads to more kind of efficient search here as well. And similarly then, for a solution node, we have an ability to create what the text is associated with the particular solution, okay? We can add hints to provide, incremental information as well, okay? And we can, again, add text to provide more, optimization around search, and we can select parts here as well that would maybe be, with this particular solution, would provide a part recommendation or a series of parts recommendation. And there can also be a series of documentations that can be attached here as well, okay? So as you go through this process, you can walk down a tree, create a tree, add childs to that, okay? Edit the nodes, add option nodes, the solution nodes, et cetera, et cetera. The following presents a more, expanded view of a tree, okay? That you can actually do, see more visually the various hierarchies that exist within the tree and the various, question nodes, solution nodes, et cetera, okay? And there's a search facility that exists also, okay? In this case, we're just searching on washer performance, and this is where it comes up in various question nodes, option nodes, or in solution nodes as well, okay? So this is another way of graphically, going through a tree and so on. Now, there's various layouts that are facilitated here, okay? There's this hierarchical layout, okay? That is, often, particularly where, trees are relatively, simplex in terms of the number of levels that they have, okay? Is often a good way to edit and enter data around these. There's a circular layout option that also exists that some of our customers like as an option. I think when trees get very complex, okay, they're this sort of file format is where people actually prefer to actually use, and you see the question nodes, option nodes, solution nodes exist here. Okay, it's a if trees get multi-level and complex, then this is a format that we actually often prefer to have people come in and use those. Okay, so just want to kind of reiterate what we're doing here. Okay, and this is in a lot of environments we go into. Okay, first of all, we have a lot of pre-existing trees. Okay, particularly, for example, in the home appliance space. Okay, we have support for a lot of obviously base models for dishwashers, laundry, whatever, and so on. Okay, and then we have customized models to be able to that are for particular vendors and particular appliance types. Okay, so you see in a lot of environments that we have a huge amount of these models created, okay, and decision trees associated with them that we've used industry experts to help create, okay, already created. Okay, I also want to sort of stress one thing is that this decision tree format here, okay, is a way for us to edit and enter and annotate data, okay, from typically human experts, okay, or prior decision trees that may have been created, okay? So it guides the machine learning, okay, and model creation by having this intelligent human input into it, okay? Some people get confused and think that this decision tree actually, dictates, the interaction and how the chatbot behaves, okay? That's not really the case because we're actually using machine learning and AI, okay, providing a decision tree or an interaction with the chatbot that's much more optimized than this, okay? Machine learning will go on and immediately optimize this decision tree, and with feedback, will do the same thing and again. So the behavior of the chatbot isn't determined by the decision trees that are entered here, okay? It's actually just a guide to actually influence the machine learning and AI and keep that in track, okay? So it's important to understand that. You know, a lot of our customers also, have tools that they had existing decision trees, and we can provide a way to, import those as well, okay? So important to remember here what the admin console is, right? It's really a way to do a lifecycle management of a product that you have under AI Brevity service, okay? This can include configuration options where you change the look and feel of the user interface, okay? It provides facilities that as new versions of products, come online, they can be imported and taken in under Brevity service management. But with the ordering tool in particular, okay, it provides a way where we can enter data, okay, human data, and edit and annotate that in a way to guide the machine learning and model, okay? And in a way that is ultimately creating a much more optimized and capable chatbot, okay? So in a lot of cases, we'll go into environments where they historically may have used kind of a simple tool to create some decision trees, okay? In that environment, we can always import that, and they help to further guide the capabilities in the training of the machine learning model and ultimately a more efficient chatbot, okay? In other cases, we have existing models that have been already created and decision trees that have been entered to help guide those, okay? In some cases, we can complement that as well with some other data that the end customer may have to kind of include some of their decision trees around this as well, okay? But the admin tool is essentially a way of, customizing the behavior and configuration of the UI and a way to be able to enter intelligent user data via decision trees that's directly related to the particular model that's under service with VDI. And that data helps guide the machine learning and model creation of that particular system. So Tim, I'm not sure if you've got kind of questions in here that we could kind of, I saw a couple coming in there and so on.
I do. Let me just scroll over there. All right. First question. Does the decision tree created in the authoring tool fully define the behavior of the chatbot?
No, it doesn't. And it's a good question. I was trying to, talk to that a little bit. It's often when we show customers this ordering tool first, okay, and kind of walk through some of the things that I talked through there around, the decision tree, the creation of question nodes, option nodes, solution nodes, okay. They think that, the chatbot will actually go down this, decision tree process as we've created in the ordering tool, okay. So that's not the case at all, okay. What this is entry of information, which helps us, guide our machine learning and model creation and ultimately the behavior of the chatbot, okay? Our chatbot, often, the decision trees that are entered in the ordering tool, okay, are complex, okay, have many levels to their hierarchy, okay, would take a long time to walk down through the tree to actually get to an end solution of the process. Mm-hmm. So we, kind of immediately optimize those trees in the chatbot, okay, with shorter paths, okay, with better answers that are provided by the machine learning and the model type, okay, to provide a actually solution that performs much better, okay, in terms of results, but also much better in terms of you're going down a shorter path to actually get to the ultimate end solution. So the decision trees are ways that we capture, expert views that may be associated with that particular model type, okay? And are incorporated in some historical decision trees that may have been created by another tool. They act as a guide for us, but we greatly optimize the decision trees ultimately in with how the chatbot behaves based on our machine learning, AI, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's tweaking, not defining, or would you say it's a bit of both?
Say that again, Tim?
Well, so tweaking and defining. On the one hand, you can create new decision points in the decision tree, and on the other hand, you can actually tweak it so to improve how the chatbot might operate.
Yeah, and the machine learning does that. Okay, so
yeah, right.
this what's entered in the ordering tool, okay, is ultimately not how the chatbot interaction plays out. We actually do something that's much more efficient than that. But we use it as a guide for our machine learning and so on. So often, like we've imported say existing decision trees that an OEM may have had, okay, were actually large and complex and had many layers to their hierarchy, okay, and they guided our ML and AI. But ultimately, what we were able to produce from sort of a chatbot and its behavior was something that one, I think, performed better at providing solutions that were satisfactory to the agent and the customer, but also done it in a manner that's didn't require you to go through multiple tree traversals to actually support it. It'll do it a lot quicker also.
Okay. All right. Well, I think you actually you already answered this next question, which is I already have existing decision trees. Can I import these into my Brevity system?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll call out with kind of more specific examples that we often go into accounts where they have an existing decision tree, okay, that really is just kind of frankly kind of a relatively simplex case-based reasoning model, okay, where they've created decision trees and flows, okay, that will take an agent down the blind. Now, often these are not always, but I mean they're often kind of complex in their hierarchy, okay. Relatively simple in terms of maybe yes, no answers that are presented from an option point of view, and they take a while to walk through, okay, and they don't have this adjacent AI and machine learning that we have, okay, which is really the sort of core ingredient of our solution, okay, but they provide a lot of useful information to help guide our machine learning and model creation, okay. So we often have imported existing decision trees that a vendor may have, okay. It's often true that their existing call center may have had decision trees that were created several years ago, are used to kind of go down through kind of what I would call a quasi-manual case-based reasoning walk, okay. But so we often import those, okay, and these maintain kind of in some ways a similar look and feel in terms of nomenclature, et cetera, that can be built into our chatbot that help guide the machine learning. But we ultimately operate much more efficiently than those, both in terms of performance and the amount of time it takes to walk the tree.
All right. Okay, I've got a good one here for you, Tom.
Yeah.
The system's abilities are driven by the data that has been captured in the tool, right? So the question is, how much data does Brevity bring to the complete data set for the consumer appliance industry? I think that gets to what we talk about internally about as our base models. Maybe that's part of this answer here.
Yeah.
But then, do you want to answer that? There's actually another follow-on question from that. Do you want to tackle that one first, and then I've got a sort of an add-on question for you.
Okay, an add-on question. Okay, so we bring me huge. I mean, we've created, using a huge amount of publicly available data from facts and forums and manuals and operational data. We've created base models, okay, for in the home appliance area, what's generally known as kind of the AM6, or, but things that include, laundry, cooking, refrigeration, and so on. So we have a series of base models. So you saw you saw the reference to the kind of dishwasher that we had before and stuff like that. So we've base models that are, continue to be added from and stuff like that for all of the major science. And then we go through a process of including further customized data, okay, to create a customized model. And this may be, appliance specific service records, appliance specific manuals and stuff like that, that will create this custom model for a particular vendor's product type, okay? And, the inclusion of some, decision trees, et cetera, that have been already created with some experts that we work with, and then, both in the kind of general servicer sense, but also in specific OEMs that we work with, okay? Help further guide and train those models, okay? So we have, a packaging called the Smart Service Pack that will include support for all of the major home appliance vendors and their major product types in the laundry, cooking, refrigeration area as well.
So we're starting with the base model, right? And then we are actively adding to that using information that we gather during the engagement with the customer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
that can include, additional information that will come in to the, if you're working with a specific OEM, okay, they often have created, chat bots, or have some, decision tree type structures that already exist. We can take those in also, okay, to further guide the actual behavior of the machine learning in the model as well.
So we've talked about, consumer appliances here. Another part of this question is, what other industries do you tackle? Do you focus on for data gathering?
Yeah, well, I mean, one of them will be the commercial kitchen equipment vertical. Another one is HVAC. Okay. Another one is we've done some work on agricultural and some tractors and stuff like this around kind of base model creation on that. Okay. So the typical process, say we were go to kind of I think from a home appliance space, we have considerable coverage from both kind of a base model, okay, and from a major vendor and their appliance portfolio category. If we would go to, say a new vendor, okay, we would work with them in sort of, probably having a base model for that particular category already in place, okay? Then we customize that using their service records, their specific manuals, their historical operational data, okay? If parts prediction is involved as well, it'll probably incorporate in, BOM capabilities as well. So we build a custom model for that, okay? And I think part of that process is, also as it applies to sort of the admin console and the ordering tool, okay? If they had either, in some cases they have existing, decision trees that they put in place that were, already there in their service center without AI or machine learning, okay, that are put in place. We'll use the ordering tool to import that in, okay? If they don't, we'd probably work with maybe some of their service experts, okay, to actually create this decision tree, okay, to be able to impart some of their knowledge and expertise to help guide the creation of the machine learning and that custom model, okay? Ultimately, our AI and whatever will make that decision tree and the interaction as it manifests itself with a chatbot to be much more efficient than that, okay? So that will be kind of the process is we'll have a base model, build a customized model. Part of that creation of a customized model is the decision tree import, okay? Or working with, some of their subject matter experts to create a decision tree, which we then take in and guide and further optimize that decision tree using our AI and machine learning technology.
All right. Thank you, Daniel, for that question. And as I said, if we've not addressed it to your satisfaction, just let me know. We can follow up with you as well. Another one here, Tom. There are various other case-based reasoning tools on the market that allow you to create a decision tree. How is what we are offering different than those?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's fundamentally different and are better from a capability point of view because of all the AI and machine learning we bring to the table. But some people, when they think about chatbots, or when they think about even some of the things that we show them with the admin console, they think that our behavior and interaction with chatbot and the chatbot behavior is based on some sort of simplex decision tree, okay, that is entered manually. So you can go out of the marketplace and there's kind of simplex case-based reasoning tools that will allow you to create decision trees, okay, often with not a hell of a lot of complexity in terms of the number of options that you can put in place as you build a tree, okay? So they're often trees that are pretty deep and take a long time to traverse, okay? But those trees are not doing anything, they're really providing a simplex guidance, okay, for a call center agent or a customer, okay, to try and triage a problem, okay? Well, what we do, okay, is uses machine learning and AI. And, as I said, a decision tree is part of the stuff that's manually entered to guide us. But we're then optimizing that decision tree, if you like, to be much better performing, okay, to take much shorter paths, okay, and ultimately provide much better performance in terms of the success rate we have from a solution perspective, but also the time it takes to get to that solution by having optimized so that we're not going down 7, 8, 9, 10 layers of a tree hierarchy to get to an endpoint.
Okay.
So they're really kind of manual trees that have been created using these tools. Okay, and we can actually, if they exist, we can import them and use them and allow those to guide our MLI. But we're doing something much different in terms of machine learning and optimizing that data and other data, so you have a chatbot interaction and a triage that's much more effective in terms of its chances of giving a successful outcome, but also the speed with which you can traverse it.
Righto. We've got 2 more questions. So we should get people out of here before the top of the hour, I would think. So first one then. This is about natural language processing, sometimes called NLP. So what role does NLP play here? If you have a tree that is fully defined by questions and options, as indeed you described in the demo, then why do you need NLP? So maybe you could just sort of break that apart.
Yeah,
there.
And this is maybe a little in terms of, didn't show you a couple of things, right? Within the ordering tool, okay, will be a capability, when you enter, okay, a question or an option note, we actually will provide another way of being able to characterize that particular question, okay, so that our NLP engine can actually work more effectively. So if you're saying I have a water leak, or water is coming out the door and stuff like this, it can correlate those in there, okay. So what I happen to show you in when we were we're looking at the kind of agent assist example, okay, there were some specified options you could select there that showed up on the screen, okay, and sometimes there's a preferred option to particularly when you're an agent assist, to sort of do it that way, okay, rather than enter text-free form, okay. But in a lot of cases, depending on form factor, and often in the mobile case, okay, and in the customer assist case as well, the sort of nature of use is much more related, where the technician or maybe the end customer is entering in fear form what the issue is, okay? And then starting the interaction with the chatbot and that. So we're using natural language processing there to identify what they're asking us, okay? And correlate it with other data we have in the model to take them to a point in the solution based on that. So NLP, particularly in terms of, I'd say, use by, in our Tech Assist product, okay, and maybe even also in our Customer Assist product, is kind of a natural process of the interaction. It's slightly different than the experience I showed you with the Agent Assist, okay, where you're sitting in an office in a more structured manner, you can see options come back up. There you're often entering, things in free form from a question point of view. And we're using our, NLP and our model to actually try and solve the problem based on that type of entry and that type of interaction.
Okay. All right, well, last question. I think it kind of relates back to the first one a wee bit, and that is is there a feedback loop that would result in changes to the chatbot behavior?
Yeah, and first of all, I mean, there's various forms of feedback, okay? First of all, I mean, I think we showed you in the chatbot, it came up with kind of a series of options based on a particular, question that was entered and one was selected, okay? If the agent finds that, by interaction with the customer that, the options that were presented, okay, didn't include one which was actually kind of more reflective of what the actual issue was, okay? There's a facility in Agent Assist to be able to tag that, okay, and record that. And then you can ultimately go back to the, actually in this case, probably the ordering tool to be able to add a new option field, into the decision tree that will ultimately help guide the behavior of the chatbot, okay? So there's a feedback loop by that, okay? There's very much a feedback loop in terms of, our using of the tool, okay? And what's successful or not, what a particular, recommendation or solution was to solve the problem, okay? And whether that was right or not, okay? All of that is, saved and recorded, okay? And goes into our model and further optimized by that feedback loop, chatbot behavior going forward to further increase the performance of it, okay? And then based on other data we may import as well from, into the model and stuff like that, that can further tweak the chatbot behavior. So, the chatbot is continually learning and improving over time, okay? Either based on, input like I talked about in the first example where an agent wasn't seeing the right options, okay? Based on data where we actually solve the problem or not solve the problem, it learns from that. And it learns from incremental data from additional documentation or service records that may be sent to it, okay, to tweak this as well. So this is a constantly evolving and improving solution that we put in place there.
Got it. Well, that's it, Tom. We've gone through all the questions here, and so I suppose we should wrap things up.
I think, we see kind of several different customer types and stuff around this. It's, we had a focus on the home appliance industry, okay? So, we have, with that, a lot of models that are pre-built from the major appliance vendors that can be used with, for example, in our smart service pack, okay? Even in that environment, that, there's a lot of cases that we can import additional data, okay? Say it's, a home warranty, extended warranty company. Some cases, they have their own decision trees as well. We can, import those to further customize and improve the model performance in their environment, okay? When we go to some OEMs, even though we have, a lot of expertise in the home appliance spaces, sometimes, they have existing decision trees or existing chatbot implementations, okay? We can pull those in using the admin console and the ordering tool, okay, into further improve, our model and our experience in a chatbot for that particular environment, okay? And then in a lot of cases, there's, maybe new vendors that we go into that have existing decision trees, okay? And we can import those into the model, usually to kind of guide the model creation and machine learning for that as well, and stuff like that. So a lot of, ready data that's already there, but a lot of facility to be able to build in, additional decision tree or knowledge information from, a particular OEM or a particular company like an extended warranty company, home warranty company that's providing service, using customized data or decision trees that they may have already built as well. But we're doing this in sort of conjunction with AI. So it's, we'll actually make those decision trees a lot more efficient in terms of, performing better to give better results, but also taking a shorter path on them as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I thank you everybody for being a part of this. The replay will be available in a couple of days. And of course, feel free to send us any follow-up questions that may occur to you. And I think with that, we're going to conclude things here.
Okay.
I will keep you posted on our next webinar. Not sure what that will be quite yet, but you'll be the first to know.
Okay.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Take care. Bye-bye.